Welcome to the Grassroots Army podcast. This platform is for common sense people looking for up-to-date, accurate, and truthful information without the hot garbage corporate media bias. The power of one can lead to the power of many. You never know what small act that you may say or do that may literally change the lives of millions tomorrow. And don't you ever think that you can't make a difference, because you can. Good morning, my fellow Michiganders. Good morning, my fellow Americans. Welcome to the Grassroots Army podcast. I'm, of course, your host, Garrett Soldano, and I have a great gentleman on here today that is really making a difference. And this is the whole essence of this Grassroots Army movement. You have to remember, ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and that's all of you. And whenever I hear ordinary people going out and putting themselves out there and creating organizations and creating websites to really give back to the community, to inspire people, to get people involved, especially what's very important this next election cycle, and he's got some great things to say, but more importantly, on future election cycles, is getting people out to vote. And so he's going to fill us in on what he's doing right now. It's called 10xvotes.com. So I'm very, very honored to introduce Mr. Drew Bourne onto the show. Hey, Drew, good morning.
Garrett, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. And when you came up to me last week, I think it was at the Jim Jordan event, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yep. I think last Monday.
Yeah. And you came up to me and you gave me your card and you kind of started explaining what you're doing. And just in the back of my mind, I was like, wow, this is what it's about. It's really, really getting out there and having people like yourselves start these things. And I really believe these types of organizations really make the difference in future election cycles. And obviously the most important one that we have right now is the one in November. So I'm going to hand the mic right off to you, my man, and explain to people what you're doing.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. So what we are doing is chasing low propensity voters. So what we did is we separated out, we have the data roll or the voter roll for all of Michigan, and we separated out your low propensity. And those are people that vote less than half the time. So two other people refer them as 2 of 4 voters or less. So these are hunters, these are gun owners, these are churchgoers, evangelicals, just across the board, people that just don't vote. And what we learned, and when we first started exploring the data, we kind of going through some of our friends and family in there. What we realized is that we ourselves have a lot of friends and family. We're very, politically active, involved, always reminding our friends and family we can't hardly have a conversation without talking politics. And all of a sudden we realized we have a lot of friends and family that just don't vote. And it's like, oh, well, this is a problem. So one example, a friend of mine, I was looking at actually somebody else's last name. And a guy walks around wearing a Make America Great Again hat, and him and his wife showed up on our data, and we're like, what, what's going on here? And give him a call and say, hey, do you vote? And he's like, the line just went silent. And he said, well, I voted in 2016 when I was living with my parents, and then I moved out of my parents' house and got married, and ever since then I don't even know where to vote. And these are the voters that we're chasing. These are the people that, Garrett, you and I are going to walk over broken glass on election day to vote. I think in 2022, I did vote absentee, but that's because my wife was due on that Tuesday. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't in the hospital. But, we're going to walk over broken glass to vote. But that's also the point, right? We have 9 days of early voting now. We have permanent absentees that we can get signed up for. And we need to find the people that just don't vote and do it. So what we did is we took these 1.7 million low propensity voters and made it public for you, the general, your everyday voter, to go find your people that and your friends, your family, your coworkers, people you go to church with, and get them to vote. And our average is 14 that people are finding. So, I mean, just in 10 to 15 minutes, I'm asking everyone to take 10 to 15 minutes, go to 10xvotes.com and just start searching your friends, your family. A former state rep from Kent County. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a wonderful man. Love the guy. He's been involved in politics forever, township supervisor. So we put in his last name, very common last name, started it down to Kent County. There were 18 people with his last name in Kent County. 9 of those were his nieces and nephews. 9 people that do not vote, right in his immediate circle of family. And the whole idea is, if you go door knocking you may get some interest, may not get some interest. Your ROI is very low on the amount of work that you're doing. But our goal is that if Garrett, if your brother-in-law calls you, you're going to answer the phone, right? If your cousin calls you, you're going to answer the phone. So if, or sends you a text message, you're going to, so we want to have that personal accountability, that personal relationship that makes it so so we can turn out that low propensity vote, not just in 24, because if we don't have a strong top of the ticket in 26 or 28, we're going to need to turn these people out again. And the fact of the matter is we have these 1.7 million low propensity voters. The Democrats have about 350,000 people that they have to turn out. That's what they win by. If we turn everybody out, we have a 1.35 million margin. We shouldn't lose ever. I mean, Kent County has 111,000. Allegan County is 49,000. Ottawa County is 56,000. I mean,
that's amazing. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, never have to worry about being blue again.
Where were you several years ago, Drew, when I was running for governor?
Well, I mean, that's the whole idea too, right? I mean, it's if you can turn those people out, it's the low propensity voters are difficult in a primary because if we add it, like our voting numbers are only the majors. So 2016, 2018, 2020, 2022, right? That doesn't even include primaries. If we put primaries in there, I'm sure the numbers would be even more. But if you're not going to vote in a general, you're definitely not going to vote in a primary.
Everything you just said just gave me the chills for someone who actually ran statewide and having the grassroots army that we did. And we knocked over 100,000 doors. We made over 500,000 phone calls. And if we had a system like this, that really gives, like, especially grassroots candidates an edge because we're always going against big money and everything else. And, how they're buying endorsements and they kind of prop up candidates and everything else. This gives the edge to the ordinary person running because it's about who you know, and it's that network. What was your statistic again, Drew, for every person, the average on what they can bring to the table? What was that stat again?
14. So, I mean, what we're trying to do is destroy the narrative that it's just one vote. I mean, Garrett, you're out in the public right now. How many times have you heard, my vote doesn't matter anymore? Like, I just don't feel like it votes. And even if I do vote, I mean, Dominion or whatever, like, we just don't care at that point in time. The numbers say that if we all show up to vote, we don't have to worry about it anymore. So we're trying to destroy the narrative that it's just one vote and it doesn't matter because it's not. You have the opportunity to now vote legally 10 or 14 or 30 times. We had somebody find 35 people the other day in Cass County.
Say that again, because I think that's very important for people that are constantly like, the election, the election integrity is not there. Like literally, I think that's very important for you to say because you just said, hey, you can vote 14 times more because if you call all your friends and family, the ones that are not voting and getting them to vote, literally that one vote turns into 14. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if the margin we have in Michigan should make us never lose. I mean, it should not be an even race. And our 1.7 million doesn't include people that have never voted, right? In Michigan, we have very high voting percentage because now if you have a driver's license, you're automatically registered. You have to opt out. And so there's a lot of people that just haven't voted. These are just people that have voted once that just don't vote. So you can now take your vote and take it and do it 10 times by just finding your friends, your family, your coworkers. And we're making this very relational. Like I said, it's a one-on-one personal relationship because, Garrett, if your brother-in-law calls you, you're going to answer the phone, right? You know that. If your cousin calls you, you're going to answer the phone. But if somebody shows up at your door knocking, you may not even take them seriously. You may not answer the door. You may show up with a gun and kick them off. Who knows? But if somebody calls or you call somebody they're going to answer the phone. If you send them a text message, and they don't have to know how you vote. If it's your brother-in-law, it's get your butt to the ballot box. But if it's a coworker, it's hey, remember you got 9 days to vote. Why don't you vote? So I mean, it's go get your absentee ballot, go get your permanent absentee in, and it makes it very simple and very seamless. Just go on, find the people that that vote, and get them to turn out. So what it does is, so you log on, we do make you sign up because we want to make sure that our data doesn't get abused by the left. You sign up, you claim your people, find your people, claim them, and then all we do is come election season is say, hey, Garrett, Sam and Sally and Sue and John and Jack and Joe, go get them to vote. Like, it's that simple. Like we're leaving it up to you. If you want to tell them, hey, you need to vote for this candidate or you need to vote for that candidate, great. I don't really care. We're not telling you how to vote. We're just telling you to make sure that they show up. That's all it is.
People don't understand how powerful what you just, it gives me the chills, Drew. It really does, because when you start analyzing that data, and I want to talk about the data here in a second, because I know there's a lot of people on here that are like, well, they're collecting data. I'm going to let you talk to them here in a second on this. But then when I ran the numbers in my head, right, and in my calculator just now, we door knocked over 100,000 people. So in theory, if we would have had that connection with 100,000 people and had them go call 14 of their friends and relatives and everything else and who voted, that 100,000 turns into 1.4 million potential voters.
Correct.
That's how powerful this is. And so I urge everyone that's watching right now, if you want to get activated, you want to get involved, you want to do something that's really going to have an impact, this is it. This is it. So like when I heard your idea, that was the first thing that I thought of, Drew, to be honest with you, is like how many people collect our data. And from here on out, we get 1 million text messages. We get 1 million emails, everyone trying to get a hold of us, trying to get us to donate money to their campaigns. And it's very overwhelming, so much that it turns off a lot of people from even getting involved in politics because they get bothered for the next decade on their phone and their email and everything else. So a lot of people are going to ask, hey, are you just collecting my data to sell it down the road?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And we have, I mean, we have the data for every voter in the state of Michigan, every single citizen in the state of Michigan. We have it. We don't need anyone's data. What we're doing is, as a small organization, a small county, a small chapter of a Republican Party, a grassroots party, and every county's got all of them. They don't have the data. So we're giving it to them. We're giving it to you to say, hey, go find your people. Like this isn't, we're giving everything away. All we're asking for is you to claim your people so we can remind you to go claim them. Because if you don't claim anybody, we can't remind you. I mean, yeah, you could go log on again and go search again, but we're just saying, hey, we're asking you to go say, hey, go find the people that you know personally. We don't want you to use this as a canvassing tool. You can go, I put in like my zip code or my township, and I'm in Layton Township, Allegan County. I have 648 low propensity voters here. I went and searched them, and because it's a farm rural community, but I know most of the farmers. So, I just went through and selected most of them. But these are people I knew. I had their text message. People if I see them out running around in the tractor, I stop and talk to them. Like those are the people. Yeah, I want that personal relationship with them to do it. We're not asking for anyone's that, we're going to make you sign up. But I mean, how many things do you sign up for a week? Just, get your email, put your phone in, then all we do is just remind you to get them out to vote. We're not telling you who to vote for. We're not selling your data. We probably have your email and cell phone right now as it is. We don't need it. We're just trying to use this as a tool to have that personal one-on-one accountability that you have with the people that you know.
Drew, I absolutely love it. My goodness. I mean, this is the type of leadership that we need in the state of Michigan, to be quite frank. I mean, we need to have these kind of ideas in forefront and vision on how to win elections, because a lot of times, especially with conservatives, is they just throw hissy fits. We just gripe and scream and we attack on social media, but really no one's bringing ideas forward. There's some people that do, don't get me wrong, but I love what you're doing, my man. And to let everyone know, the link to the website is in the description. Please, if you want to get involved, you want to make one simple thing or one simple decision to really have a really big impact, and not only this election, but future elections, go there, sign up, and start the processes. There's like a tutorial and stuff on there on how to do all this, Drew.
Yeah, when you sign up, you'll get an email, and there's a YouTube video on there that shows you how to do it. Just a quick 2-minute YouTube video, and you said it kind of best right in your intro there. So the power of one can lead to the power of many. I mean, that's exactly what we're doing, right? I mean, we're just trying to give that data to everybody and say, go find your people, get them out to vote. And your one vote is now 10 or 14 or 30. However, I mean, how much we're asking for 10 to 15 minutes, everyone's time now, and another 3 minutes to send everyone a text message, email, Facebook message, whatever, come election season.
That's fantastic. Is there anything you else like or would else like to say on this, Drew, before we go here?
No, that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's 10xvotes.com. Log in and find your pen, and we're going to win. There's no question about it.
Drew, thank you so much for everything that you're doing, putting yourself out there. And this is the type of foresight that we need here in Michigan, that's for sure. So we appreciate you. And I'm going to put this on my email list and also blast it out to the 50,000 people that we have on there too. So that the reach is going to be there, my man. And good luck on everything that you guys are doing. And thank you for doing this.
No, we appreciate everything you're doing as well, Garrett.
I appreciate you, brother. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Wow. Fantastic. And again, when you run those numbers, it's amazing because we had such a great grassroots army of people going out there and door knocking and making phone calls, and would have just made our job a whole heck of a lot easier if we would have had like a website or an app like this that you could just actually see. He said on average 14 people. 14 people. I mean, it's a whole different ball game now. And so that's how, and if you're a grassroots candidate and you're really struggling to get your reach out there, what a great way to get your name, to get your grassroots army, your supporters to go out there and have personal conversations with people, because that's where it's at. So amazing, absolutely amazing. I am very excited for what they're doing. Drew, thank you so much for doing this. Absolutely fantastic. Gives me the chills, like I said. And I want to end with all of you today a video that our campaign did, because that's one thing I'm trying to do is really continue to allow what Governor Whitmer has done in the past to be at the forefront of people's brains as she has her eye on the White House, if not this election cycle, definitely in 2028. So I'll do everything in my power to continue to remind people what she did to our businesses, what she did with our kids, athletics, how she overstepped her boundaries with the Constitution, how she weaponized the health department. A lot of people have forgotten this, and they really forget the timeline of what she has done. And you forget everything that we as a movement, as a grassroots army, has done ever since the beginning for 4 years. And so I watch these videos, it really just reminds me on all of us on how much work we put into this thing. And I'm just here to tell you, it's not going to end anytime soon. And I will do everything in my power to continue to motivate and inspire you, to remind all of you to stay activated on the why behind it, because we want to make sure like something like this never happens again. And if she did this to the state of Michigan, can you only imagine what she could have did as president? I can't even fathom it. Okay. So let's watch this little reminder. Okay. And for everyone that sees this, this is a gubernatorial campaign video we did back when I was running. So when you see Garrett for governor on here, does not mean I'm running this next election cycle. Okay, let's put that out there. All right, here we go.
Slow the spread of COVID-19 in our state, we must all work together as Michiganders. When you see those numbers rise, don't think that it doesn't mean your participation, your staying at home isn't having an impact, because it is and it will.
Governor, your decision over the last 3 months has proven to all of us that you are a direct threat to those very words that were inked by our forefathers. What's happening right now should never happen again. What's happening right now is that no governor should ever have this much unilateral power to do the things that she's doing. We are fighting back. We are starting our petition to repeal the 1945 law so no governor will ever have this much power again. This is your opportunity. This is your time.
We can get it to the legislature, get it voted, get it through. We can end the tyranny.
This is our Super Bowl event. This is everything that we've talked about ever since the beginning, folks. Ever since I started the Michiganders Against Excessive Quarantine. And I told you I would never give up on any of you, and I would not quit until this was done. And this is it. We are coming for that 1945 law.
We are here today to celebrate
539,000 signatures in 80 days.
I feel like Mike Jordan, give me the rock and I'm scoring. Hey, came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning.
Join the movement. Be a part of history. God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan. And God bless these United States.
States of emergency are things that governments do when they need powers to take unusual actions to protect people. None of this is easy, but it's absolutely essential to save lives. We will need to extend the state of emergency.
The state Supreme Court has ruled that Governor Whitmer did not have the authority to extend the state of emergency without legislative approval.
I was out deer hunting with my son, his first time deer hunting, and that little alert came on my phone that the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the legislature that deemed every executive order that woman has done to all of us unconstitutional. I hit him in the chest, and I thought we were done. I thought we won.
What a fantastic day, a monumental day. Not only did we, the people, hammer down and deliver over 539,000 signatures for our Unlock Michigan, the repeal of that 1945 law, but God has decided to bless us again and allow the Supreme Court to come through and vote in favor of who? We, the people. We've been waiting for this moment. We all have. But our work is not done.
The Michigan Health Department today issued new COVID safety regulations that mirror the executive orders Governor Whitmer had previously issued.
I never in a million years would have thought that she would have weaponized the health department. I didn't even know that was possible.
It comes just 72 hours after the Michigan Supreme Court ruling that said Governor Whitmer did not have the authority to issue emergency orders to mitigate the spread of COVID-19.
The ruling does not mean that the orders I issued violated the law. Although I disagree with the conclusion, the court held the law was unconstitutional, meaning the legislature never had the power to pass it in 1945.
She brought the hammer down at the end of November, shutting our restaurants down to 25% capacity with a 10 p.m. curfew. Thank you, Nanny Governor, for protecting us, right? Brought down the hammer to these kids, canceled their athletics. I looked at my wife, I said, we have to do something.
I didn't know. I didn't know what that was going to be. School board, city council, legislature. It wasn't until we had a conversation on the couch, you know, right over there. She turned to me and you said, what?
You have to run.
Yep. And I turned to you and I said, are you freaking nuts?
We're waiting for somebody else to do it.
Yeah, nobody was stepping up to the plate. But I just knew that it was going to change our lives. It is official. I am running for the governor in the state of Michigan.
The power of one can lead to the power of many. So don't you ever think that you can't make a difference, because you can. All you have to do is stand up and fight. And if you do that, that ripple effect will happen. And that ripple effect will spread so far-reaching, and you will be that beacon of hope. You will be that beacon of light for others. And it's contagious. You all come up to me, and I love every single one of you, because our movement is a family, and you can feel it. You can feel it when you come to these events and these rallies. You can feel each other. We are a family. And you tell me, Garrett, you inspire me. No, you inspire me. You do. Because every story that I hear, from the restaurants being shut down, people's livelihoods being crushed, people not being able to visit their loved ones, those are bricks in my backpack that I carry around with me. I won't quit. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, right? It's the size of the fight inside the dog, and you got a pit bull right here in front of you, folks, and I will fight.
So it comes down to these three things: leadership, fundraising, and do you have the chops to go up against Governor Whitmer? And I have proven over the last 2 years and 3 months what I bring to the table, not only with leadership, with spearheading and getting Michigan's greatest asset involved and activated to get positive change throughout the state. And that was the Unlock Michigan petition. That was recruiting thousands of licensed election inspectors. That was helping these kids get back to schools, helping these kids get back to athletics. The list goes on and on. I'm not a career politician up here giving lip service. Bottom line, I'm the only candidate on this stage that went up against Governor Whitmer and won. I'm 1-0. And what I'm most concerned with is we need somebody who's going to be focused and do everything that they can. Just a little inspiration for all of you on a Monday morning, that is for sure. Just remind all of you not only what we were able to accomplish, but there is a lot more work that needs to be done. Just like I said in the video, I'm not going anywhere. I will continue to stand up. I will continue to call it the hot garbage. I will continue to motivate and inspire America's greatest asset, and that is all of you. That's we the people. And I know a lot of you are tired and frustrated, and you're just like, you think I just can't take anymore. This is when you have to continue to push forward. It's always darkest right before sunrise, and you have to understand and know that you matter. And when you have people like Drew come on and talk about some of the things that they're doing with this 10xvotes.com, I think it's very, very important for you guys to get involved with this type of organization, to get on there and just call 14 people on average that you know, to make sure they're getting out and voting for the people that you support, right? This is a great idea for grassroots candidates. That's how this movement can really inspire positive change in the state. And we don't have to depend on the career politicians anymore. We don't have to depend on all these people who give us lip service that when they get into Congress and everything else, they just do what the elites want them to do and not represent why they got voted in the first place. Like Jim Jordan said it best last week. Hey, your job as a congressman is to get elected, right? And when you're in there, do the things that the people elected you for. Follow through with what you say that you're going to do. That's it. That's it. And that's why we need to continue to have Americans stand up. And again, I want to just reiterate, I don't care about your past. I really don't. If you have a past, so be it. We all have a past, this guy included. We all make mistakes. I would rather vote for someone who has a past, who's transparent about it, who's like, hey, yep, I made a few mistakes in my life. This is me, but this is what I'm willing to do. And I will stand up for you. I would vote for that person every day of the week if they follow through with what they're going to say that they're going to do. I think we all want that. So get involved, stay activated, stay inspired, but most importantly, get out there. Each one, not teach one, it's each one teach many. The power of one can always lead to the power of many. You all taught me that. Have a fantastic week. Until next time, God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan. Of course, and always, God bless these United States. Talk to you soon.